Hi, I'm Dr. Julin Teng. Today I've studied a series of articles on my blog in which I discuss social media and their impact on our society and possibly what we could do going forward to actually make it work for us. But in this first post, I discussed what actually made social media so popular, and I argue that our narcissism, it's really social media as it stands, is a symptom of a disease. And let me explain. Social media platforms, at least from their inception, are no different, not much more innovative. Let's say not no different, but slightly different, only slightly different than traditional online dating sites, which could actually trace their way back to the 90s when the internet first became a thing, before the dot-com bubble. It was basically the idea was basically connecting people, and then you make some profit from limiting the the communication between the individuals. The innovative thing about social media is that they took this away. They make the communication with people among people who are acquaintances free. And they also added the ability to follow, to like. And this created something that really feasts on our narcissism. I don't know whether those people who first invented social media are brilliant, or it's because they just wanted to tweak some things, and then there were some brilliant minds, perhaps in the business world, in the venture capitalist world, who came up with these ideas. But the fact remains that these actually feast, these changes feast on our narcissism. Some backgrounds. The background, I think, is that we live today in a mostly capitalist value system. And in this system, I think the predominant influence comes from the United States, and also from the Anglo-Saxon tradition, which can be traced back to the Magna Carta, and also with in America in particular, the Bill of Rights. And in the Bill of Rights are consecrated a number of freedoms. But at the same time, as I point out in this article, a Bill of Duties has never been drafted, and so people have over generations become accustomed to having rights, but they are not really at least as consciously reminded of the fact that with freedoms come duties. So it is this continual pursuit of freedom, regardless of the duties that come with it, that made us vulnerable to narcissism. Then came the television, the Cold War era, and the rise of the big marketing agencies, where during that era, television basically made it possible. Of course, before there were radio, but radio only it was not as emotive, whereas humans are really the primary sense that we have. The first sense is vision, and this basically with television, with the advent of television, it became much easier for marketers and for politicians to build emotional connections to their audience, and the marketers and the politicians really leveraged on that because there's a lot of money to be made with marketing. And then, of course, during the Cold War, it is important for the public to feel good about themselves, to feel confident about themselves. And all this created an environment where people are continually told positive things about themselves. People are convinced continually again and again and reaffirmed again and again that they are right to want what they want, and they're always right. And that's the foundation. I think that's those years have really built a foundation for a narcissistic society, and which has culminated in recent years, not necessarily just in recent years, but have really culminated, I think, in some of the political changes in the world that we are witnessing even this day, right? So that's the background of a society of narcissists. And then, of course, there's also a different side to the story of post-war media, which is that with the advent of televisions and with the need to connect with the audience on an emotional level, marketers and politicians and basically political forces, the media, they know that to build a strong connection on an emotional level, it is important to have a familiar face. So this is because when it is natural for people, for humans, when we first meet a person, we are less willing to expose ourselves. We don't always immediately let our guards down. Let's just put it that way. And so it is important to have familiar faces that people can connect to easily, and they can yield immense power, and they become the celebrities. They became the celebrities, and they were not necessarily just the film stars. Of course, Hollywood created the film stars, I think, even before the war, but without television, those film stars didn't really have the voice. Their stories were written about by journalists on newspapers. They didn't, their movie roles, during the movies, in the movies, they spoke the lines that are written by screenwriters. They didn't have a voice. But with the advent of television, interviews, talk shows, celebrities gradually and surely gained a voice. And with that voice and with their familiarity with the audience came immense power. And so this is the power of celebrity. And social media really is its brilliant point is that it feasts on the fact that we are narcissistic. We want to become celebrities, and we know, even on a rational level, that the level of power that fame gives, if we had that fame, if we became celebrities, we can have the same, and that on a rational level is enough motivation for a lot of people to pursue that. And social media companies are really brilliant in fostering that image and in creating the storyline where people just they created some things out of passion, out of love, and then they became famous, and the rest is history. But what I'm here to say is that this is no difference. This is no difference than any other marketing schemes, in which basically an image is created. It's a facade. It is an illusion. It is a mirage. It's not necessarily true. Most people who participate in social media are actually part of the product, so that politicians can feed information to, so that data can be extracted from them so that they can be sold products too. And so they became an audience, they became a product, well, without always necessarily realizing that they are. And so this is what's so brilliant about social media, and why it is so dangerous. So this basically is this first article that I wrote, the first post, and I also want to discuss in the coming weeks the danger, the further dangers of social media, what it has, how it has harmed us, how it has harmed perhaps even some of the important cultural and social emergencies in our times, and what could be a better alternative, how we could tweak it to make it work for us. But all right, let me just not stop talking here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will post in the description of this video the link to the article, and of course, if you keep visiting on this on my blog, I will continue posting similar articles and interesting ones. And when the next app post about social media comes out, I will again add a comment to this video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.